music, heartbeat, and a message I repeat. It's a Rhyme and Reason 457.
There's a rhyme and reason for your life. There's a rhyme and reason.
Hey there, Tony here. How you doing out there? Hope June's going all right for you. We're zipping right on into it, aren't we? June is real nice over here in the shadow of Pikes Peak in Colorado. And you might have heard me talk there at the beginning about music and a heartbeat, so I'm going to kind of jump right on into that. I know I've shared a bunch of times really here on the podcast how music can be good for your brain, and I've also talked about how music is good for heart healing. And now I'd like to add a little bit of the benefits of what I'm going to just call your music heartbeat. So how can music help your heartbeat? Well, according to something I read, it's a study from Wisconsin. They evaluated 45 patients who had suffered heart attacks within the previous 72 hours of their study, their test, whatever you want to call it. I didn't see a link to that study, but the information I found on the Harvard Medical School website looked legitimate. I guess that's pretty legitimate, Harvard Medical School. The study also said that those patients were all stable and they were randomly assigned to listen to classical music or simply continue with their routine care. And they were going to do that for about 20 minutes. And the report said that the ones who listened to music almost immediately showed drops in their heart rates and their breathing rates. And plus, their hearts didn't seem to need as much oxygen to function. It wasn't required, it wasn't putting a strain on the body for oxygen. Listening to music didn't seem to lower blood pressure, but the benefits it did have lasted at least an hour, they said, after the patient stopped their listening. And they appeared to have less anxiety, which is, as they said, typically high with heart attack patients. So, of course, when something works, you want to find out how to make the most of it, right? And those researchers wanted to see if short-term benefits of listening to music could last longer. So they came up with, some other tracking ideas. That's what it was. They chose over 700 patients who were scheduled for heart catheter surgery, and they chose them to receive either the standard care or care with some, we'll call it extras. And they came up with standard care plus prayer, or standard care with prayer and music, standard care and MIT, they abbreviated it. It's a combination of music, imaging, and touch therapy. And then, one other option was just the MIT, just the combination of the music, imaging, and touch therapy. No prayer. That's what it was. So, from what I could tell, they didn't come up with conclusive data to show long-lasting effects of any of those combinations. But after 6 months, they did say the MIT patients experienced less anxiety and emotional distress, and they were apparently 65% less likely to die after the surgery. That's always a plus, right? You want to be less likely to die after a surgery than more. But wouldn't you know, they had to add that prayer was not associated with any potential benefit. So while they said it's impossible to know if music was the key component, they had no problem with a definitive statement about prayer. Notice how they said it's impossible to know if music was a key component, but we do know that prayer wasn't associated with any potential benefit. So they knew that. Well, what about your spiritual music heartbeat? That's the question I raise. Sure, it's great that listening to music can help increase your blood flow by 26% or more, but that helps your physical heart and your health for a little while. And even if it extends your life by years, you know what? You're still going to run out of gas one day. And then what? Well, that's where the benefits of prayer do come in. They'll kick right in when you actually put them into use, prayers. Because good arteries, blood pressure, heart health, none of that's going to get you into heaven. And wouldn't you rather go to heaven and live forever than exist as a dark, lonely, bodiless soul in hell, even if, you survived your heart surgery? Well, I got to say, the joy and hopeful anticipation of living forever in heaven, that's music to my ears and my heart. My music heartbeat is the rhythm to my soul, and it will beat for me forever and a day, because my Creator is the health plan I can trust, and He's the song of life I sing along the way. Thanks for tuning in to this musical heartbeat episode of Rhyme and Reason. It's wonderful to have you listening and tuning in. As often as you do, please share it with anybody you think could enjoy the things that I toss out there. I will be tossing a bit of music in with the next episode. I haven't done that as often here lately, but I'm going to kick it back in a little bit in the next episode. So thanks again for tuning in. As always, remember, life has rhyme and reason because God made you.
There's a rhyme